Hi, y'all. Good afternoon. It's Thursday. And I remember when I told y'all when I do it on Thursdays, it would be thirsty Thursdays. So I have a little sip. I don't have nothing. It's okay. At any rate, um, it is Thursday, March 16th. Whoo! Mm. It's about to be springtime. We already daylight saving. We already sprung forward Saturday night, Sunday morning, but here we are, y'all. Thanks for cruising with Key. Welcome. I will do my disclaimer. I will not be before you long. Um, but I won't though, for real. I don't. I am tired. I am hungry. Um, and it's about to be 6 o'clock. I went in the office today, you guys. So that's why I'm so late. But I know you don't mind as long as I am here. I don't know why I'm just really fidgety. Um, again, like I said, I'm tired. But at any rate, today we are going to discuss grace. Um, and I feel like that's a good topic to talk about during this journey, because I feel like people struggle with grace for other people as well as themselves. I struggle with giving people grace as well as my own self some grace. So if we going to go on this journey about being real, then I got to talk about everything. And that's just the truth of the matter that I am getting better. But I know that that is an issue for me. But I am learning that I think that I am selective in giving grace. I don't know why it looked like I got something right here and I don't. Oh gosh. I always feel like yeah, no, I like while I'm talking, I don't know if anybody else do these, but when you're doing it, like you can see yourself. Like I'm talking to myself and I'm just like, oh my God, like what is this patch right here? And what is this right here? Like I notice everything about myself. And that's one thing that I do love. See, that's what that's I give myself grace. I give myself grace knowing that whatever you are about to say about me, anything that anybody say about me, all right now, all right now. So let me point it out before any one of y'all point it out. But yeah, I realized that I struggle with well, I'm selective in grace giving, um all across the board, not just to myself but to other people. And like I do, the definition for grace, you guys, now, it's a noun, simple elegance or refinement of movement. Here's a sentence. She moved through the water with effortless grace. Now, they have a verb definition too: do honor or credit to someone or something by one's presence. The sentence they used: she bowed out from the sport she has graced for 2 decades. So we are going to discuss the noun definition: simple elegance or refinement of movement. Here's the thing: grace is something that grace reminds me of, because I always tell people I grew in grace. And I say grew in grace because grace, from a biblical, spiritual standpoint, it's always talking about um, what could have been, what should have been, but God. That's all grace really is. Grace is that, but like I feel like if it wasn't for God's grace and of course his mercy, because they are brothers and sisters, if it wasn't for God's grace, I think that I would have been dead, sleeping in my grave a long time ago. I'm dead serious. I feel like I should have been dead a long time ago. That's just the truth of the matter. But grace is something that has kept me. It has kept me refined. And I feel like that I've moved through moved through life gracefully. I'm very humble, and I am very much aware, as I get older and the more self-awareness that I do, of things that I need to work on, things that I'm willing to work on, things that somebody might have told me that I need work on. And I told y'all, I've been telling y'all like the last 2 weeks, I've been reading about patience, and patience and grace go hand in hand because you have to have patience to give somebody grace. And I realized that that's why I struggle with grace. And I want to work on it. So, because I want to work on it, I want to talk about it with you all. Like, what can we do to get better at giving people grace? Well, the first thing that we got to do, you guys, is start with ourselves. Like, don't be so hard on ourselves and our circumstances because of grace. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself time to do the work. Like oftentimes I might be like, man, I'm so overwhelmed because I'm an analyzer. I'm an overthinker. I think about everything all the time. There's never a time that I'm not thinking about something. I can read a book and my mind is, I'm reading the book, and there could be something happening in the book, and my mind is going to go to that place that I can recognize that's happening in this book. And it's like yeah, I'm always thinking. And so, because I'm always thinking, I'm trying to figure out why is it that I can't give myself grace in that. In it, because you already know that you are an overthinker. In those moments, just stop. I know it sounds so easy, but it's not. To just stop in that moment takes practice and patience. Practice, patience, prayer, purpose. Okay. The purpose of me practicing this graceful period is important so that once I grasp it, I can be this to other people. Know what I mean? And I said in the beginning that I feel like I give people grace, but I'm selective, and myself, but I'm selective because you know I'm on this journey to deal with my childhood trauma so that I can be the show up as the adult that I know that I'm supposed to be. Um, I gave my mom endless grace um, because she was my mom. I've given siblings endless grace because you're my sibling. Actually, anybody, my family, I've given endless grace because you are my family. Um, I think the only time I don't give grace is maybe when I'm mad. All of anything that's rational goes out the window. So me giving you grace after you just pissed me off, that's slim to none. But how is that when if I do something that I know was absolutely wrong, that was 1000% a sin, that was in the Bible, it was a commandment. But grace woke me up the next day. God said, I love you and I forgive you that much that I don't feel like it's your time yet. I don't even feel like it's your time yet. So I'm going to use my grace The Bible says that my grace is sufficient enough. Why can't I tell myself that my grace is sufficient enough for me, and then it's enough for somebody else? And I'm talking about people, places, and things. There's times I suffer. I've been suffering, I swear, for like the whole month of March with really, 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 really bad stomach pains. It's been bad. Um, and I've allowed myself to deal with it. I've allowed myself to be emotionally in tune with it. I've cried and some more. And I found myself in other days being very upset. Like, man, I wish I wasn't going through this, and why I gotta go through this, and why, and I'll be having all of these questions. But it's like, kid, give yourself some grace. You've been battling health issues literally all your life. You don't have no control over it. You know what you're supposed to do. And even if you're doing everything you have in your power to do, and you're still dealing with this, give yourself some grace, because it's not gonna be like this all the time. Y'all know what I say, trouble don't last always. This too shall pass. So if you're in a place where you feel like you're completely overwhelmed, you're frustrated, you're ready to just throw in the towel and be like, man, forget this, and your tolerance is literally like slim to none. See, it's there. See, you can see it, but it's slim to none. I want you to stop right there and think about grace. Think about, how can I fine tooth comb this thing? How can I go through this in a graceful manner, from a courteous goodwill? Because that's the second definition for grace under the noun courteous goodwill. The sentence says, at least he has the grace to admit his debt to her. Courteous goodwill. Apply that to yourself. Apply some courteous goodwill to yourself, to the point where, again, you giving yourself grace to be honest with yourself. And then once you do that, give yourself some grace. Give somebody else some grace. Give somebody else some grace. I live with this lady. She never put her hands on me, but she was so verbally abusive, y'all. It was so bad that I ran away. I was like, I can't stay here. I can't. And to this day, for some reason, I would much rather, and that's so weird. I'm in therapy. Don't worry about it. I'm going to bring it up with my therapist. I would much rather, and I already know why, I would much rather get hit than somebody hit me with their words. Because when you get hit, unless you get a mark that ever ain't going nowhere, that pain ain't gonna last but for so long. But you never, ever, ever forget those words. Remember when they said stick and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt? That's a lie. Sticks and stones might not break your bones. Yes, they will. What stone? Let me throw a brick at you. Let me throw a brick at your arm and let me see if it breaks. Let me throw a brick. I'm just gonna pick up a brick and just drop it on your toe, your bare foot, and see if one of them toes get broken. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt. Words hurt. Words have power. The same way you say I love you, the same breath somebody might say I can't stand you. You'll be like, ooh, but I thought you loved me. I do, but in this moment, I can't stand you. Me, even though in that moment they got every right to feel the way that they feel, I instantly say in my head, oh, but why you can't stand me? Like, I know that I'm pissing you off, but in this moment, you can't stand me. And in my head, I'm like, but you shouldn't have said that though. Like, man, you blowing me. I would much rather you say, man, you blowing me. Get out my face than saying, man, I can't stand you right now. You can't stand me? Like, what you mean? You can't stand me? Where's my grace? Give me some grace. It's easy to give people grace too when you know their heart and when you know their intentions. Okay. If you know somebody intentions, be like, they ain't really mean it. So I'm gonna give them some little grace. I I know my peoples give me some grace. I know my friends and family give me grace. I know y'all do. I know y'all give me grace because y'all know, like, kid don't mean no harm. Y'all don't even say that's just kid because we don't do no well, that's just kid. No, you don't get that. That's just person. That I don't like that no more. If you've been with that's just how they are. When are we gonna start challenging people in our lives to be better? We haven't in so long because honestly, we be giving people grace. Sometimes the grace be sometimes the grace, your grace period is up. Sometimes your grace period got to be up, but then sometimes we don't give it at all. You can't give it away if you never given it. Start with grace and end with, okay, I've tried. I've tried. I've been in situations where, like I said, like I ran away from the lady. I did. And we're grown now. And she sent me a friend request on Facebook when I was on it. I accepted it. But there were times when she would invite me to stuff. I'm no, I'm not coming. And the crazy part about it is I thought about it to support, but then I'm like, why would I do that? We've never had a conversation about how I felt when I ran away. I ran away at 19. Who's running away at 19? I did. When I only had what 3 more years to go, I ain't care. No, 2 more. I told y'all I'm bad at math. Ah, yeah, that was yeah, I left. And I don't have I don't have enough grace. I choose not to have enough grace to have a conversation with her about why I don't show up when I'm invited to stuff. And actually talking about it out loud, I kind of sort of feel like I should because so that I can get it out. I've given you enough grace. I've given her enough grace all these years. If I see her, I hug her, you know, because that's just me. I don't treat people like but I really don't treat people the way I feel like they should be treated because I'm just not this nasty, mean spirited person. It's just not in me to do. And honestly, when I don't give people grace and all this is going my mouth and I'm saying a whole bunch of stuff, honestly, immediately after, I'm thinking about ways how I should be apologetic. I always want to be the bigger person. I always want to be the first person to reach out because it's called conviction. When you got a relationship with God and you do wrong things, I don't care what it is. I don't care how big, I don't care how small. I guarantee you you will feel convicted. You're going to feel that conviction and conviction is real. But I don't be doing nothing about the conviction. See, this is what I'm saying. I got to give myself some grace before I give other people grace. And I want to get to a place where I'm not selective in it. It's this is me. I give myself grace on a daily. If you are in my life, I'm going to give you grace on a daily because why not? Why not? If you have a spouse, give your spouse some grace. If you have children, give your children some grace. If you have a bestie, give your bestie some grace. If you have parents, give your parents some grace. Because all of these people that is very, very close to you won't always be here. They won't be here all the time. If you have siblings, give your siblings some grace. Here's the get you gotcha though. People will take your grace for granted. And we ain't Jesus. We are not God. The Bible says that we are supposed to be Christ like, but we ain't Christ. So if I make a decision, which I actually have recently, to just back up from a relationship, love her with every fiber in my being, would do anything for her, would drop everything for her. But I just really can't be a part of your life right now because I don't know where you at, what you doing, like you all over the place. And all the times that I wanted to say something, I finally did because I couldn't take it anymore. That's the thing. When you are at a place where you feel like, okay, well, they just not getting it, and it's starting to affect this and this. Grace is it's time for the grace to end. Your grace has ran out. I don't have no more for you. I love you and I'm here for you, but I cannot be who I was. I cannot give you courteous goodwill. I can't do it. I won't do it. I refuse to do it because guess what? Now I'm not protecting myself. You got to protect yourself. Please protect yourself from people, places, and things. I'm serious. Grace is important. If I lived in an alley as a toddler, you cannot tell me that there wasn't grace covering me because I'm here to tell it 41 years later. Okay? I'm here to tell it. Grace. I've been in terrible car accidents. Terrible. Terrible. It was only grace that kept me still here. I'm still here to talk about every one of those car accidents because I know that I had God's grace, his covering, his protection. And that's what grace is about. When you're giving people grace, you're protecting them, you're covering them because you love them unconditionally. You can't just be out here giving grace out just all willy-nilly. We not just giving grace out. We not doing that. And when I say that, I'm just saying, like, if it's a stranger, I don't know you, and you approach me wrong, I probably respond the same way or I'm ignore you because I don't know you. You're nobody to me. You're somebody. Everybody is somebody. Let me say that. Everybody is somebody, but you're not a part of my life. So to me, what you think about me does not matter. How you feel about me does not matter. You understand what I'm saying? I heard. So be graceful to yourself so that you can have more grace with other people. Grace to self looks like doing the work, going to therapy, journaling, praying, fasting, because in those moments, you're giving your laughing, watching TV, doing staycations, um traveling by yourself. You're giving yourself grace to deal with every dart that's thrown on you, and before you lose your marbles, you're woosah and you're in this place full of grace. Stay in grace, and when you do that, you can be more graceful to other people who deserve it, and when they don't, see how them deuces went away. Cause you out. You out. So I'm gonna end it right there, y'all. I hope y'all got something out of this because I really feel like, if we give ourselves more grace, we can start to give people grace and just like be a little bit more kinder to yourself so that you can be kinder to somebody else. Love yourself a little bit harder so that you can love others a little bit more harder. Like I said last week, when you get to the core of why you aren't a certain thing, stay right there. Don't just be like, "Oh, I acknowledged it." Okay, you acknowledged it. Now, what's the work that you about to put in so that you can fix it? We all are a work in progress. Shout out to all of us that's doing the work. Shout out to everyone that has a desire to do the work and you just ain't started yet. It's okay. It's okay. I am a few months shy of 43 and I just started this work right here October 5th. October 5th. And I got 59 of y'all going with me. And I thank you for it. That's it. Grace. Give yourself some grace. Give other people grace. Choose you first, though. Always choose you first. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for cruising with the key. Thank you for cruising with me today. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for all the likes. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing. Share it all across the world. I don't care, but I appreciate you. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I promise to respond to every comment. I promise to always tell you that I thank you and I appreciate you for being a part of this here journey of mine. Okay? Have a good Thursday. Have a good tomorrow and weekend. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. So if you Irish or you like to hang and do what the Irish do, have a beer for me and wear green. And have a great weekend. I think the weather's supposed to be all right. I'm going to be busy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday celebrating the 40th. So I can't wait to maybe share some of that with you all. All right, bye, y'all.